Hi parents, do you have a child that is having trouble catching on to learning the sight words? Stick around, I'm going to share some ideas with you today in video number 6 of my series, How to Help Your Struggling Reader at Home. Hi, I'm Rebecca and welcome to the Parent Teacher Bridge, where you can find the ideas and resources you need to empower you to be your child's most influential teacher. And today, in this video number 6 of my series, How to Help Your Struggling Reader at Home, I'm going to share with you what you can do if sight words are holding up your child with their reading. There are lots of different reasons why children struggle to read, and that's what I'm covering in this series, but today's video is all about sight words. And when you're talking about sight words, you're going to get differing opinions out there. My personal take on learning sight words is that I don't really start teaching them to children until they're able to sound out a basic 3-letter word like a consonant, vowel, consonant word. Because I find if the child is aware of where the sounds are located in a word as far as the beginning, middle, and end of the word, they're going to be able to learn those sight words much quicker and more efficiently. So with that being said, let's get into the sight words. Now, I'm not against memorizing sight words. Obviously, there are some that can be sounded out a little bit more easily than others. A few that come to my mind that are more difficult to sound out would be words like said, they, could, and so on. You'll find plenty of those. Now, the sight word list that I like to look at the most is the Dolch sight words. Sometimes you'll see them called pre-primer, primer. Sometimes they're called pre-K, K, first, second, third. And I really don't pay much attention to the titles of those groups. I just always start with the first group. I will leave a link in the description below for where you can find a list of the sight words in their different groupings. Now, this is a stick in the sand method, which means it's very, very simple and anybody can do it. But for my own children, when we reviewed the sight words, we did just a few at a time and we added on slowly, and we used index cards. That is so old school. You don't have to do it that way, but I will tell you some of the things I like about that way is that you can easily sort the list into what they know and what they don't know, or what they sort of know and they needed a little bit of help with. And it's tangible, so you can easily make it a game and say, you get a point for each one you know, or they just like seeing that it's a stack, or they can lay them all out in the table or the floor and see just how many words they know. What a confidence booster. But there are other tools that you can use to help your child learn sight words, like apps and such. And believe it or not, there are some parents out there who have taught their children how to read and they never really studied the sight words. Their child just had so much exposure to books over and over that they kind of memorized those same words in the text as they went along. It's not for everybody, but it does happen. Now, over the years, I've worked with lots of dyslexic students. What they will do sometimes is they will miscue on a particular sight word. I don't know why necessarily, other than this is just something I've noticed. Smaller sight words like in, the, and so on. They really do know them, but sometimes they might substitute them for one of the other 2 or 3-letter words that are similar to those. So when that happens, when a child is reading out loud to me, I make sure they are tracking their print, they are reading slowly, and if that happens, I just reach over and I might tap on the word quietly. I don't fuss at them. I don't say the word for them. They know that they need to go back and clean it up a little bit. And usually that helps lessen that behavior. They just are a little bit more attentive, a little bit slower and more careful when they're reading out loud to me. But just so you know, that is a normal thing and that can happen with some of the dyslexic students. Now, I've talked about lots of topics in this current series, but today's being sight words, One thing you can do if you think that is the reason that your child is struggling to read, you can print off a list of sight words and screen your child or check to see which ones they know and which ones they don't know. If you can clear that up, some of the ones that they may be confusing, then it's going to immediately improve their reading. A couple of apps that you can use for sight words are Sight Word Games by This Reading Mama and Learn Sight Words by Bright Trail. I'll leave those links in the description below. So I mentioned to you earlier how we do things pretty basic and simple around here. I wanted to share with you what some of these sight word flashcards look like that I have in my collection. I've used them for all three of my children. It's so simple, anybody can do it. So index cards are cheap. I would write the words down. I made my list in several different colors. So my first list was the easiest list, and you can see I put one dot on it, and I wrote it in blue marker. And some of these came from my second list, and I gave them 2 dots and wrote them in a different color marker. But I just keep these in a little bag here. I have a 5-year-old who's working on them. I have a 7-year-old who knows how to read all of them, which children will learn how to do first. But I might pull some of these at random and let him practice spelling them also. Now, if your child is an active child and they easily get bored, you may want to try out more kinesthetic, hands-on ways of practicing the sight words. Try wiki sticks. Those are those wax-covered yarn that you can get and you can bend in the shapes of the words. Have your child bend those to make the word, or you can write it on a card and have them bend the wiki sticks to sit on top of the letters if they need that. You can also use ABC magnets and have them pull the letters down and make the word and then read it to you. You could try dancing out the words. Believe it or not, they have videos for this. You can check out the YouTube channel Heidi Songs, and they will have some little tunes that she sings, and she has hand motions that go with those words as well. If you can involve more senses in the learning process, your child will learn it better and more quickly. So those are just a few ideas that you can take home with you on how to teach your child the sight words. I have a little bit more detailed information in a couple of my other videos specifically about sight words. So if you'd like to check that out, I will leave a link in the description below. Please take a chance to do that and check out the other videos in this series, How to Help Your Struggling Reader at Home. Don't forget to share with a friend and check out the Parent Teacher Bridge on Facebook and Instagram. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.